Hey guys, John here at the Strong Life Club. Now in this video we're going to be talking everything training, and I'm going to give you a few things that you need to be aware of every time you step foot into the gym. Now doing this you're going to make great progress. You're going to start moving towards your goals that you've set for yourself. Now all these key areas are geared up to allow you to lose body fat and build a physique that you can be proud of. It makes you feel confident and empowers you. So stay tuned to the next few things and tips that I'm going to be giving you to make sure that you're getting the most out of your training and you continuously make progress. So guys, the first thing I want you to think about with your training is, can it be sustainable and can you be consistent? So if you are saying to yourself, I'm going to go and train 4 times a week, but you know it's just not going, you're not going to achieve that, you're just too busy, you can't get into the gym. If you were to say to yourself, well, I'm going to train twice a week initially, I'm going to make sure that I can be consistent with those 2 training sessions per week, that is a great place to start. And you're going to get off to a great start with your training. So be consistent and be realistic with what you're able to achieve. And when you're able to move up to 3 times a week, which is going to be fantastic, then do so. But the first thing before you start thinking about anything about all your training is, can you be consistent and is it sustainable? And these are going to hold you in good stead for the real tough times and for the long term. Okay, now number 2, exercise execution. This is something that we work very closely with our clients and something that we get great progress from. And it's moving away from thinking about reps and sets, and I've got to get through the reps and the sets as quick as I can, and just moving something, if it's a weight or a machine, from A to B. We start thinking about, can I take a working muscle, the muscle I'm trying to train, from its lengthened position through to its shortened position, and can I keep tension in that working muscle? And when you start to do this, you start to work harder, so you're going to burn more calories, you're going to burn more body fat, and you're going to improve the shape of the muscle. So you're going to improve your shape. So start thinking about, can I contract muscles? So let's say you are doing a seated leg extension. So you're in a seated position, you've got a bar across the top of your foot and you're trying to extend your leg. You're trying to contract your quads, the front of your legs, as hard as you possibly can, and then lowering your feet, bending your knees under control. So you're getting the working muscle to do the work. You're not relying on momentum or anything like that. Also, let's take your triceps. So you're doing a press down, so with the cables you're pressing them down. You're trying to contract the back of your arm, so you're trying to squeeze your triceps and control the full movement all the way down and all the way up. Doing this, you're going to make greater improvements in a much shorter amount of time. So on to number 3, and this is progressive overload. Now the biggest mistake most people make when they go into the gym is they just do the same sessions week in, week out, and they don't make any progress because they're not being challenged enough. They're not getting their working muscles to improve week on week on. You're not always going to be able to do this, but whenever possible I want you to try and push that a little bit more. Now how can we do that with progressive overload? So what we're going to try and do is add a little bit more to the bar in terms of resistance, or we're going to add a little bit of resistance to the machine, whatever you're working on at that particular time. So we're trying to do a little bit more than the week before. Now if we're unable to add more load to the bar or the machine because we're just not ready to, we just can't, our body doesn't allow us to do that, then we can add more reps. So can you do an extra rep or 2 reps than you did last week at that particular weight? And if you're trying to do this and you're keeping this in your head each week, you're trying to force your body, you're forcing your body to adapt to that new stimulus. So progressive overload is a great tool that you should be using. And the best way to do this is to track. So each time you're going into the gym, make sure you're tracking your weights and your reps and your sets that you're doing. And if you can just push a little bit more, either with your resistance, the reps and the sets that you're doing, you will make progress, and you'll make progress a lot quicker. Now this brings us on to effort. Now, I'm not talking about having more and more time in the gym, you know, so sessions may start at 45 minutes and you just have to add more and more time into your sessions to put more effort in. I'm not saying you have to, you know, make yourself feel sick. I'm not saying you have to sweat as much as you possibly can in terms of effort. I'm talking about effort in the exercise that you're doing. So let's say you're doing a deadlift. If your prescribed reps is 8 and you get to 8 reps and you could do an extra 4 or 5 reps, then it is too easy. What I want you to be doing with each and every exercise that you do, can you challenge yourself? So let's say you're doing your deadlifts and you have 8 reps that you need to complete. You get to the 8 reps and you may be able to get 1 or 2, possibly 3 more, not too sure, then that is the best weight that you should be using at that time because you're being challenged. So make sure that effort is prioritized in your training and it's not too easy. Now, the 5th thing I want to talk about in terms of training is frequency. And what this means is how often you can train over the working muscles within a week. Now, at the early stages of your training history, you might be able to train a muscle group once per week because it takes a while for you to recover. You may be achy, you know, 3, 4, possibly 5 days post training. So when you start to progress, it's really beneficial to be able to train a muscle group twice per week, particularly lagging muscle groups. So for women, you might want to train your shoulders or your arms, legs or glutes because they might be lagging. You want to bring them up. Then training them more frequently is a great tool to use, and women are really good at recovery, much better than guys, and being able to go again and recover from sessions. So think about working those lagging muscle groups more frequently throughout the week. So guys, there you have it. They are our training fundamentals, and starting to implement some of these things slowly into your training is going to make huge changes. You're going to make better quality progress and quicker progress also. So start looking to bring these things in nice and slowly, and I can assure you they will really be beneficial. If you want more support with your training, want to take it to the next level, reach out, drop us a message, and I'd love to help. So I'll see you in the next video.